In the year 476, a teenage boy in a purple cloak handed his crown to a barbarian general, and the greatest empire the world had ever known simply ceased to exist. 1,000 years of law, engineering, and conquest, gone in a single afternoon. To understand the world that might have been, we first have to understand how it actually ended. By the 5th century, the Western Roman Empire was a giant balanced on broken legs. Its borders stretched from Britain to the deserts of Africa, but its treasury was empty, its coinage debased, and its armies were increasingly filled with the very peoples it once called barbarians. Wave after wave of migration, Goths, Vandals, Huns, pressed against the frontier. And in 476, a Germanic commander named Odoacer deposed the last Western emperor, the boy Romulus Augustulus. He did not even bother to name a successor. The throne of the West was simply switched off. Rome did not fall in a single battle. It bled out slowly, from overexpansion, plague, political murder, and the quiet decision of millions to stop believing the empire would last forever. But history turns on small hinges. Our point of divergence is the year 378, on a hot August day near the city of Adrianople. In our timeline, a Roman emperor named Valens marched against a Gothic army without waiting for reinforcements, and was annihilated. 2/3 of his eastern field army died with him. It was a wound Rome never truly recovered from. But imagine Valens waits. Imagine he listens to his generals, unites his forces, and crushes the Goths instead of being crushed by them. From that single different decision, a different Rome is born, one that learns to bend before it breaks. Victorious at Adrianople, this stronger Rome does something radical. Instead of treating the Germanic peoples as enemies to be walled out, it makes them citizens. The legions are rebuilt around a new model, Roman discipline fused with Gothic cavalry. The migrations that destroyed our Rome become, in this timeline, the empire's renewal. Christianity still rises, but here it binds the empire together rather than tearing it apart. The capital at Constantinople and the old heart at Rome both endure. There is no sack of Rome, no fall of the West, no 1,000-year dark age. The lamp of classical civilization is never blown out. It only burns brighter. And this is where everything changes. In our world, the knowledge of antiquity was scattered and lost. Greek science, Roman engineering, the works of 1,000 forgotten minds, buried for a millennium. But a Rome that never fell loses nothing. Roman aqueducts still carry water to 100 million citizens. Grain fleets still cross the Mediterranean without fear. Roman roads bind 3 continents into one economy. Markets from Britain to Arabia trade in the same coin. This is not decline. This is the greatest civilization in human history entering its second act. The steam engine, first sketched by Hero of Alexandria in the 1st century as little more than a temple toy, is never forgotten. In this Rome, curiosity has time to become industry. The men who built the Colosseum, the aqueducts, and the Pantheon turned their minds to steam and gears. What was a philosopher's plaything becomes an engineer's problem. Roman water mills, already grinding grain across the empire, are scaled into the first true factories. Whole valleys hum with the sound of turning wheels. Grain that once fed a village now feeds a province. And with the extra hands freed from the harvest, the empire has, for the first time in history, a class of workers whose only job is to make things. With paper from the East and a literate society that never forgot how to read, the printing press arrives not in the 1400s, but perhaps in the 700s. Imagine the scientific revolution happening 800 years early. By what we would call the Middle Ages, this Rome has gunpowder. It has mechanical clocks. It has ships that can cross oceans. Legions still march under the eagle, but they march with cannon, and the sound of the empire is now the sound of thunder on command. Now follow that thread forward. An empire that industrializes 1,000 years ahead of schedule. Picture cities of marble and iron, where aqueducts run alongside railways, and the smoke of workshops rises between triumphal arches. Latin is not a dead language. It is the tongue of the entire world, the language of science and trade on every continent, and Roman law governs billions. And eventually, inevitably, this Rome looks up. The same engineers who built the Colosseum turned their minds to the heavens. Modern cities of glass and marble rise where villas once stood. Domes crown skyscrapers. Eagles crown domes. This is not our world imagining Rome. This is Rome imagining ours. And when this Rome finally reaches for the stars, the first object humanity sends into orbit carries not a flag, but an eagle, and 4 ancient letters, S.P.Q.R. But this future has a shadow. An empire that never fell is an empire that never had to reinvent itself. No fall means no rebirth. From the rubble of our Rome grew nations, languages, universities, the Renaissance, and ultimately the modern world. A Rome that never fell might have handed us the future centuries early. Or it might have frozen humanity inside a single, eternal, unchanging empire, magnificent and inescapable. History is a chain of tiny accidents. Pull one link, and everything after it unravels into something we would not recognize. The Rome that fell built the world we live in. The Rome that survived would have built another. So what turning point should we reforge next? A Mongol empire that reached the Atlantic? A world where the Library of Alexandria never burned? Tell me in the comments. Subscribe to History Rewritten, and let us rewrite the past one fracture at a time.